Mr. Moriariso, I want to play a clip of our hearing from last time. Mr. Moriariso, have you ever personally used your personal email for official business or communication?
Well, yes, out of ignorance at the beginning of my tenure, I used to write drafts of positions before I will put it as
When's the most recent time that you used your personal email?
We stopped that practices about a year and a half ago because we realized how problematic it was.
So you'd been in that position for more than 2 years before you realized that it was inappropriate?
Before it was telling me that I couldn't use my private.
Thank you. So that would have put the date back in January 13th. Did you use your personal email after January 13th? January 2013, I should say.
Mr. Chairman, I have to
It's a yes or no. It's a yes.
I have to look at my records. I don't know.
When is the most recent time that you used your personal email?
I have to look at my records. I cannot answer you.
You can't tell us that you just haven't?
I have to look at my records.
Let me ask the Inspector General, what's the most recent time you've seen him using his personal email for work-related business?
August of 2013.
There is some information to suggest he may have emails as late as 2014. Would that be accurate or inaccurate, Mr.?
I assume that Mr. Sullivan has probably a document that says so.
So you did use your email, even though you testified to us. You testified, and then even after that, you used your personal email.
I said that I didn't give you a date. I couldn't give you an exact date of when this is done.
You said that the CIO, Chief Information Officer, had gone through this. Did you give the Chief Information Officer your password to your personal Gmail account?
Yes.
And that you let the CIO go through all of your personal emails on your Gmail account?
Yes.
Did that also happen for Managing Director Daniel Horowitz and General Counsel Richard Loeb?
You have to ask them.
Well, you sent a letter. You just handed us this letter.
Yeah.
So tell me what, I'm trying to read through it real quick. You just gave it to us. So what's your hesitation in signing this document that's given to you by the Inspector General? I still don't understand that.
My lawyer told me that I shouldn't volunteer when I don't have to, so I am not volunteering.
Your document here, July 15, 2014, says, these documents were produced based on a search of both CSB and personal email accounts of the individuals from whom the documents were requested. And the document request was above and beyond you.
So what was the question?
Did they or did they not have the CIO check their personal emails? Mr. Horowitz and Mr.
As far as I know, yes. That's, my knowledge is that.
This is the pattern with you, is once you're presented with facts, then you just change your story. But you don't give us candid testimony the moment that you're asked. Let me go back to something.
If I don't know something, I cannot tell you yes or no.
Let me go to something specific. I want to warn you with the sternest words I can possibly do. This is whistleblower information. You're going to be able to figure out who this person is, unfortunately. But I don't want this person's name used in this public format. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you about this Vantage report. The Vantage report was produced on to the board, or to you. And let me get the exact date. February 11th of 2015. That presentation was from 3:30 to 4:30 that afternoon. There was a person who was the person of record interacting with Vantage. When was that switch made to change the person of record interacting with Vantage?
I understand within 24 hours or 48 hours. Yes.
8 minutes. 8 minutes. So you get this Vantage report, which is not very flattering. I mean, several members have gone up to this. And 8 minutes after you get bad news, you move. You change this employee away from being the contact of record.
I will characterize it differently. I just have reason to believe that the report has been tampered with. and that the report was not a piece of that I could trust, an integral, objective evaluation of my agency. I have spent a lot of money contracted these people to give
What
me good
evidence do you have of
information.
that, and when will you provide it to this committee?
I'm sorry?
When will you provide that information to this committee? If you have evidence of it, I want to know what it is, and I want to know when you're going to give it to me
as a
and
matter
Ranking
of
Member
fact-
Cummings.
As a matter of fact, I have a
When are
number
you-
of emails. When the committee requests us for information,
I'm requesting it right now. When are you going to give it to me?
we sent to you what I believe is 2,000 pages of emails of interactions between Vantage
Okay,
and
let's
the
go back.
CSB.
Let's go back
And,
to.
and you know, let's look at what those emails said, if you will. You know, I have.
Hold on. Our committee interacted with this same person who was changed as the contract of record. That happened on February 25th of 2015. 2 days later, that person was demoted. 2 days, less than 48 hours, he's demoted.
The reasons were, you know, I found an email from this person that said, quote, to Advantage, will not say anything about progress, end of quote. Also, it says, put in a slide saying leaders appear to be backing away from external advice and accompanying committees. As a result, in the document, it says senior leaders
So
are backing
we're-
away from external advice. My issue is, you know, is this a report of an independent, objective consultant of professionals advising me, or is simply they are basically transmitting?
I think it's because
statements of a hostile staff member.
I don't think you want to hear the truth. It's not like you've had one report. You've had board members. You have people quit. You have almost 50% of your people from 2011 who have actually quit and moved on. We're losing good people, decent people who work hard for a living, who provide expertise that this government needs in order to do its job. And they can't stand you and the way you manage this place. We've heard this repeatedly for hours. We shouldn't have to have the Chemical Safety Board come before this committee twice. This person meets with our committee staff in less than 48 hours. He's demoted. He presents you bad information that you don't want to see in the Vantage report, and 8 minutes later, he's taken off the case. That is not a coincidence, in my opinion.
I have asked the Inspector General to look at the relationship between the contractor and this person, because I believe they compromise the integrity of the statements that they are claiming to have objectively evaluated.
Last question. The Workplace Improvement Committee, how many times did they meet in 2014?
They meet very frequently. I would say more than 10 times since they have met, yes.
And I got to tell you, it's something where my time is more than expired, but nothing has ever been finalized. They're looking at low-hanging fruit. You don't want them to talk about management issues, and I did tell you, I think we're very united in this. Until you leave this organization, these problems are going to persist. There is something rotten to its core, and it is you. And I believe, I didn't start in that position, but I can tell you, between you, Managing Director Daniel Horowitz, and General Counsel Richard Loeb, this is a dysfunctional, unfair, and unproductive organization. And good people are suffering. And I will do everything I can in conjunction with my ranking member here to make that change sooner rather than later. This has continued to fester. We need help from the White House and this administration, but good, decent people need help. I'm calling upon them. I think you should be fired. I think those other two should be fired. But have the decency to actually step down and move this government forward. Yield back.